The solutions to our problems will not come from the noisy, rushing centers of civilization. Deliverance will come from the lonely places. 3 men against the largest sand desert on Earth. A journey of 1,000,000 strides.
When you climb a dune, you go 2 steps up, 1 step down.
عارف عمار لأن أربع الخالي ما بسيط.
Very hot. There's no breeze, that's why.
I've been having a bit of a problem with my eyes. I'm not even able to read my compass through my goggles because it's full of tears.
Just push yourself to the limit.
الناقة تتعب ما تاكل، أكلها ضعيف. تصير هي تعبانة.
We are very, very anxious to find those wells.
زين. It's a good water.
والحمد لله بنعاصر هذه الرملية وبنعاصر هذا الهواء وإن شاء الله ما لنا بد نوصل الدوح.
There's a pain in my side.
I don't think you're drinking enough.
49 days.
In 1930, an Omani, Sheikh Salah bin Khalid, and an Englishman, Bertram Thomas, made the first recorded crossing of the Rub al-Khali. Explorers had reached the North and South Poles. Now, the empty quarter, the last great challenge, had been conquered. It made headlines around the world. Now, 2 Omanis and a Briton want to recreate that historic journey. 600,000 square kilometers of desert wilderness. From Salalah in southern Oman, they will cross mountains and riverbeds to reach the desert. Then they must cross a vast wilderness to reach Doha in Qatar. More than 1,000 kilometers across one of the most dangerous places on Earth. 3 men against the desert. Amor Al Wahaibi, born into a Bedouin family, an expert in desert survival.
تمثل ذات عمان أن فيها رجال، فيها ناس يتحملون التعب ويتحملون المكان الوعر.
Mohamed Al Zadjali, a senior instructor with Outward Bound Oman.
And this is like 60 marathons. Every day it's a marathon. It's physical, mental, and also emotion.
And Mark Evans, a veteran explorer, a man on a mission.
You cannot but admire what Thomas and bin Khalid achieved, and if this journey puts them back where they should be, then it'll all be worthwhile.
Like the 1930 expedition, the team will rely on camels to survive. So Amor has come to the headquarters of the Royal Camel Cavalry of Oman to choose 4 strong camels. He's worked with them all his life, and he knows what he's looking for.
كل شيء طيب فيه نبوش الله. مركبهن كل شيء ولونهن تقاطيعهن ويوهن وروسهن كلهم طيبات. ها؟
To spare their hooves, the camels won't be joining the expedition until they reach the soft desert sand.
ها؟
So the plan is to take them south by
دق الناقة
truck,
دقيها.
but one has other ideas.
لا لا لا. هج. لحظة لحظة. إيه صبر صبر صبر. أبوش الله براكبات في الداينة ذي.
In the end, the cavalry had to bring in a crane.
سمع الناقة ذي ها.
It's not the start Amor was hoping for.
هذا عنده.
With just days to go, the team pack their 2 support vehicles, powerful 4x4 pickups. Each one will carry 1.5 tons of supplies. But most of that won't be food, it will be water and fuel.
They can all be stacked up there in big bags, tied up.
John Smith, the New Zealand photographer, is in charge of supplies. He'll also be driving one of the vehicles.
When you're driving through sand, four-wheel drive, tough conditions, very heavy load, and your motor's working very, very hard, your fuel consumption is just going to skyrocket. Shall we start with that?
For Mark Evans, the biggest concern is water.
For ourselves, we have the water boxes, but for the camels, we have to carry one of these per camel, and the camels will expect to drink every 3rd day.
When they do drink, the camels will suck up the contents of an entire 20-litre jerry can in a matter of seconds. Finding fresh supplies from waterholes will be crucial.
So we are very, very anxious to find those wells. One well will buy us an ultimate 4 of these. So all of a sudden we can drink ourselves. We have a 50-metre rope and a bucket. That's going to be a pretty essential part of our kit. That's why you need to choose your team carefully, because we have Sim here, who's very thin and lean, so he'll fit perfectly down a well with a bucket.
Going to be interesting.
Sim Davis, a photographer from the UK, will be driving the second of the vehicles, the expedition's life support system.
I was always told, look after the things that look after you, so it's going to be important to make sure everything's packed nicely, everything's packed correctly, and everything's protected and tied down.
Plus these 3, 28, so 40.
Mohamed is an experienced sand driver himself, and he's nervous.
It will be very heavy, so I'm really worried about the drivers, how they're gonna drive on sand. If there is any weight inside the car, this weight might go in one side and turn the car over.
But he also has a more personal worry. He's still recovering from a major operation on his knee.
I have a worry, that's why I'm trying to prepare myself. And will be the first extreme test for my knee. I don't want to let my family down, my friends, and also the team.
December the 10th, Salalah, southern Oman. 85 years to the day after Sheikh Saleh bin Khalid and Bertram Thomas set out. Distinguished guests gather for the departure ceremony. Guest of honor is His Highness Said Haitham bin Tariq Al Said, Oman's Minister of Culture and Heritage.
ونوجه من هنا رسالة للشباب العربي لمتابعة رحلتنا لتكون مصدر إلهام لهم وليتعلموا هذه الدروس الرائعة من ماضينا العريق. نسمع عنكم كل خير وتوصلوا بالسلامة.
بإذن الله.
بإذن الله. Just now, the expedition started. I'm really happy, glad.
رحلة طيبة إن شاء الله.
By late afternoon, they're on the last stretch of road they will walk on for 2 months. They've been joined by Ali Ahmed Shaf al-Mashli, a Dofari who brings vital local knowledge. After starting from Salalah, the team scale the mountains separating the coastal plain from the interior. The slopes around them are covered in frankincense trees, one of the reasons people first made this journey. For centuries, the incense from these trees has been sought after by everyone from the Egyptians and Romans onwards. Cutting into the bark produces a sticky sap. Once set, it can be burned to produce a perfume so appealing that a huge trade grew up around it, creating wealthy cities like Ubar, now a major archaeological site.
They collect from round here. From here, they take incense, carry on the camel, and they cross Atlantic water to Egypt and to Rome, and then trading exchange.
It was a perilous journey across the desert, but it was worth the risk.
Before that, like incense is like oil now. So the oil now better than gold, and was incense better on gold because the people use incense for everything.
Next, the team must negotiate the wadis, the vast dry riverbeds that lead towards the desert, still more than 10 days' walk away. The team rise at dawn. After a short breakfast, they walk for 5 hours. Then they meet up with the support vehicles for lunch and a rest to avoid the midday sun. In the afternoon, they walk on for another 2 hours, at least 25 kilometers a day, farther and farther each day.
Imagine 6.5, 7 hours on a treadmill in a gym every day, relentlessly.
After a simple meal, they are asleep by 8 p.m. With no tents, they simply lie down under the stars. Next morning, it all begins again. It's rough, rocky terrain.
I think today is one of the hardest days in the last 3 days.
In his soft shoes, Mohamed is starting to suffer.
It's not the blister, it's the problem. The pain in the bottom of my feet. It really hurts, especially when we walk on really round stone in the wadis. After 1 hour, it's really get very painful. I try to prepare myself mentally before, but reality is different. I'm pushing myself to the limit.
Day 6 of our journey, and we're in an area that is very rich with archaeological history and artifacts, and so we're doing our best to scour the landscape and have a look at what we can find.
10,000 years ago, the climate here was very different. The wadis were filled with water and the landscape was green. On the hilltops, ancient graves bear witness to the people who once lived here. The expedition is working with archaeologists from the Green Arabia project, based in Germany and Riyadh.
The stereotypical view of the empty quarter was that it was very dry and very arid. However, we know it was very dynamic in the past. Very green, very lush, full of savannas, full of animals, full of lakes, full of rivers, and probably full of people.
It's about exactly 4 centimetres long.
The team is helping
really
identify sites where the project might find more of the stone tools which tell the story of human progress.
Oh, I think it's quite clear. If you get down and look close up at it, you can see how it's been worked into an arrow or a spearhead.
We're revealing the long history of people in the region. And that in and of itself is important to understand climate change through time and the effects on human communities. The empty quarter is actually quite significant to human history and even potentially to our future. We can predict there'll be plenty of rivers, plenty of lakes. I have no doubt that there will be a Green Arabia in the future.
One morning, a local stops the team to show them something he has found. Carved in the rock is some kind of inscription.
I'm sitting here like this to take rest here. Suddenly I found this writing here. I tried to read it, but it's not English, not Arabic. I cannot read it.
So it's not English and it's not Arabic. But this, to me, looks a very curious language.
Expert analysis of the text reveals that it's around 2,500 years old, an example of ancient South Arabian script. The long march towards the desert goes on, with the team doing all it can to support Mohamed.
والله الشباب أو الفريق اللي موجودين هنا ما عليهم بأس وما قصروا. جميعنا هنا مثل الأخوة وكل واحد يغطي على الثاني.
Spirits rise when they reach Mudfaha, and the local community invites them in to share in the finest traditions of Omani hospitality. Incense is passed round as the walkers hear stories of the great expeditions of the past. Then it's time to eat. Today, it's a feast of camel. Day after day, the expedition are made welcome.
شلونا شل خلونا حن عيالهم ما بناس من غرب من بعيد حد من الشرقية حد من الباطنة حد ناس من بريطانيا ناس فايدة شلة حربان.
Everywhere they go, there's feasting, dancing, singing, and after lunch, a target shooting competition.
We want to say thank you for your incredible hospitality. I've never known anything like today. The poetry, the singing, and the food was just wonderful. Thank you so very much.